E-commerce is brutally competitive. So if you can't get enough customers into your store, what do? Well, if you're a brick and mortar retailer, you might decide to go into a mall. If you're an e-commerce company, you might consider a marketplace. So let's look at some marketplace data. Hi, I'm Daniel Burstein, Director of Editorial Content at Marketing Sherpa. We are here at the Marketing Sherpa Media Center at IRCE. And joining me now is Kelly Dyer, the CEO of Inventory Source. Thanks for joining us, Kelly.
My pleasure.
So you brought some data about marketplaces. So first tell us, how'd you get this data?
Well, yeah, so we're a listing manager for a lot of companies, a lot of products. We've got a lot of visibility for years of marketplace listings and managing them and who's selling what across categories and marketplaces. So this data, it's the last couple of years, it's about 2 billion data points of product listings, and we've broken it out by category, like at a high level. I mean, it goes more granular, but really kind of trends in high level categories of types of products. So this is kind of pulled from the last couple of years of who's listing on Amazon specifically, and we kind of pulled it to single out a particular marketplace. So that's kind of where this comes from for our internal data of what listings we've managed over the past few years, showing trends by category on Amazon.
Okay, what jumps out at me at the top is computers and electronics, but it's kind of going up and down over the years. Why is that?
Well, Amazon's always been, it's one of its early staples was a main electronics marketplace. Like everything you could get has always been on Amazon. So it's always been a major category that it's had representation in, and some of the major electronics sellers and distributors have been listing there. So it's high volume. It's been the highest volume. You can see everyone's catching up on it category-wise, but it's been pretty steady just because it's been the large-scale commodity consumer electronics of kind of one of its early staples beyond the books.
Okay, and then another category we see just really taken off in the past few years, eco-friendly home and health. So you're saying niche products really have an opportunity on Amazon?
Yeah, niche products. You can see that the eco-friendly is obviously very trendy, and the strategy of going niche is how people are standing out and becoming a seller in a particular area, and that's one that has emotion with it and people latch onto and they like to sell and it feels good. And so you've noticed it, and there's also been an uptick in suppliers and distributors that actually are making more products available to their seller, to their distribution networks. So for all those reasons, you've seen an uptick in it. Along with like tactical gear is another one that's kind of grown. You can kind of see here has had some upward trend over time and kind of leaped. And it's really these pet supplies has also shown some nice growth. These things of more specialty niche things that companies can brand themselves around and build a presence in.
Okay, so if I'm watching this now, I've got an electronics company or I've got a niche product I'm going to sell. I'm thinking, hey, Amazon Marketplace might be a good opportunity, but I'm also thinking, wow, that's a lot of competition. So how do you stick out from the crowd on Amazon?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Amazon has a couple different strategies for it. It's the easy way to get sales because there's 300 million people there. However many people are coming through Amazon, buying products every day, instant traffic stream to put your products in front of. But on the counter, it's also very competitive. And so there's a lot of talk of the strategy of owning the buy box, or having a loss leader where you list a product, either one that you can really get cheap and you sacrifice margin to kind of gain that exposure in the customer, or you even lose money on just to build that customer base, because when you're in the buy box on Amazon, you're getting lots of sales. So it's a great way to get exposure, but it's also low margin. So it's, in terms of building a full business around it, it should only be one part of the mix. So I think in looking at it, there's a lot of data you can pull from Amazon specifically as a merchant on their seller central platform. The kind of popularity of particular products, even diving into specific SKUs or ASINs on Amazon terminology, specific products of how popular is it, how many people are selling it, how many people are searching for it. So you can definitely do some data mining to find that niche one to kind of dive in as a marketing strategy to get users. But it's kind of one of those places where most sellers need to be, but you can't build your entire business around it unless you're one of the ones who has super low cost products that you can make razor thin margins on, because that's kind of what their model's built on.
Yeah, so you talk about the traditional loss leader, which brick and mortar grocery stores have been using for years. But so if I do that on my site, I can start building a relationship with a customer, right? Because I've got their email address, I've got whatever information I can keep remarketing to them. What information am I going to get from the Amazon Marketplace if I sell with a loss leader there? How can I keep selling to that customer?
Well, you get all the fulfillment information. You get all the customer's contact details. You get their address that you've shipped to. So ways to optimize that remarketing is obviously offer incentives for coming back to your direct site and purchasing, offering review forms in the packaging that you actually send to the customer, because it's your customer then, so all those touch points you have with them from that point forward are really where you can stand out and really leverage it as a marketing strategy. You know, the next sale on Amazon is going to be the same low margin sale, but it's going to be another customer. So getting that customer into your flow of email marketing, you know, brand awareness of your own company, you know, leveraging it for more traditional strategies through those means is the best way to use it.
Okay, so Amazon is only one marketplace. So before we dive into the other marketplaces, how can an e-commerce site, how can an e-commerce company gauge if they even should, you know, try to sell on marketplaces, or if they should avoid it? What kind of e-commerce companies would be a good fit?
Yeah, I think most would be kind of a good fit for some marketplace, but yeah, the question is where they fit. So, you know, if you're selling eBay is a very kind of similar, but you know, different structure, but similar strategy to work into your marketing, for example. So you can list on eBay, but that's not really a fit if you have a commodity item that you don't have a strong price on, because it's just not going to get sales and it's not going to get you an exposure, and there's no point to it. Same kind of thing on Amazon. If you're seller number 170 of this commodity item and you're, you know, even $1 more expensive than the lowest cost, you're just never going to get a sale for that product. So it's kind of assessing where your products fall into that mix. And there's a lot of specialty marketplaces and others where maybe that would be a stronger fit. So there is a research element to kind of where you should be selling your products, and it's all very specific to your particular products, the categories they're in, your price margins you have, and kind of how popular they are in those different channels.
Any marketplaces you think are particularly overlooked, or people are ignoring for no good reason, or?
Well, there's a lot of new ones that come out, but there's new ones that come out all the time that have crumbled over the last 10 years. You know, they come up, and so a lot of them aren't worth your time until they're proven. So you've seen some steady ones like Sears.com open up their marketplace. It used to be Buy.com, now it's owned by Rakuten in their network for their Rakuten marketplace. That's a pretty common one too, that's got a lot of traffic. There are, you know, niche ones in each kind of other category, like there's marine electronics, you know, kind of marketplaces. There's pet supplies marketplaces, tactical gear marketplaces that tie into kind of their own channels and trade, you know, distribution areas. So the specialty ones are great when you are building a niche presence, but they might not be worth the effort. You know, ones like Bonanza is one that's not very well known, but a lot of our customers list, you know, we manage listings on their Bonanza. It's a newer one. They are getting some traction on it. One of the big high-profile ones that came out recently was Jet.com, which was trying to kind of compete with Amazon, and that's where you have to be selective, I think, on your products and your fulfillment strategy of whether it's a fit. But if you fit, they had more restrictive terms because they were trying to deliver a different customer experience. But if you could ship same day or next day and kind of meet all their criteria, you know, they had a big marketing budget behind them. So being in early on something like Jet gets you that exposure. So, but they come up all the time too. There's plenty that have come and gone at both price comparison sites and marketplaces that just, you know, you'd spend a lot of time getting your products on and then never get anything from it. So there's definitely some of that learning as well.
All right, well, thanks for bringing that chart filled with data, Kelly, and sharing it with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And thank you for watching, and you can find many more e-commerce videos at marketingsherpa.com/IRCE.